Hey everyone, today we're talking about the pros and cons of living in Laurel, Maryland, and we're getting started right now. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we talk about all things living in Maryland. So if that's the kind of information you're looking for, make sure to hit subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified of our weekly new videos that we're going to be doing all about everything Maryland. And if you ever have any real estate questions, I love taking your calls and answering all real estate questions about anything real estate related here in Maryland. So feel free to touch base anytime. And with that said, let's jump right into the pros and cons of living in Laurel, Maryland. Okay, pro number one we're going to be talking about is the food and restaurants in Laurel. So for a suburb, it's actually got some pretty great options. So first off, my wife and I are pretty big sushi fans, so I'm going to start first by mentioning Kabu Sushi. It's great. They've got great options. It's a Japanese steakhouse, so they've got great food and sushi options as well there. And number two on my list is Pasta Plus. I'm a huge sucker for Italian food, so if you like that as well, you're gonna love all the options that they have at Pasta Plus. And then number three, it's Maryland, right? We love our seafood, we love our crabs, so you gotta check out Red Crab House Seafood and Bar. You're gonna love it. They've got a ton of great seafood options there, so you gotta make sure to check that out. And then Laurel Mall's also got some great staples. So if you like Buffalo Wild Wings, if you like BJ's, they've got both of those there. BJ's brews their own beer. Always a great place to go to. So definitely a lot of options here in Laurel. Lots I'm not mentioning, but those are among my top favorites in the area. Okay, con number one of Laurel, Maryland is going to be the schools. So they just don't have the best schools. Laurel is in 4 different counties. Montgomery making up the smallest part of Laurel. PG, Prince George's County, making up the largest portion of Laurel. And PG County, of the 4 counties that it's in, probably has the worst rated schools. So that's just something you want to be aware of, something you want to research and just see if that's going to meet your standards, meet your criteria of what you're looking for in schools. Anne Arundel County, and then Howard County. Howard County especially is most known for its well-funded and good school system. So if you're looking for schools as a priority, you're probably going to want to steer towards and focus towards Howard County. Is going to have the best of the 4. But with PG being the largest portion of Laurel, that's something you just want to keep in mind. It just doesn't have the greatest school ratings here in the area. Okay, pro number 2 of Laurel, Maryland is going to be the close by government jobs that are in the area. So Fort Meade is actually Maryland's largest employer with over 54,000 employees made up of both service members and civilians. NSA is a pretty good portion of that, but it is part of Fort Meade. So you're going to have a lot of options there for jobs. It's a big driving factor to the area just because it is so close to that. And then also Johns Hopkins University Applied Physics Labs, better known locally as APL, also employs just over 7,200 people here locally right outside of Laurel. So that's another big employer that's local, and you're gonna see a lot of people that live in the Laurel area. They're gonna be living there because of the proximity of these government and government related jobs. And APL, if you have not heard of them, serves as a technical resource to the DoD, NASA, and several other government agencies. Okay, con number 2 of Laurel, Maryland is going to be housing is fairly expensive. I was a little bit on the fence on this one just because when you compare Laurel's housing market to DC, you could argue that it's actually pretty affordable, which it could be. But when compared to the national average, Laurel is going to be fairly significantly more expensive. So that's something, if you're coming from outside of Maryland or depending on the part of the country you're coming from, this is something you want to be prepared for. So the national average cost of a home in the United States is $285,000 roughly. In Laurel, Maryland, if you're looking to purchase a detached single-family home, you can expect to pay a median price of right around $450,000. If a 3-bed, 2-bath townhome will suffice, you're looking at a median purchase price of $350,000. And then your 1 to 3 bedroom condos in Laurel are going to be in the $250,000 median price range. All right, pro number 3 of Laurel, Maryland is it does have some fun things to do. Now, it's a suburb. Most suburbs, aren't as exciting as, cities or have as many things to do. But for a suburb, it's got a decent amount of fun things to do. So I'd like to mention that as well. Laurel recently got Urban Air Adventure Park, so that's a trampoline park, and this is definitely a fun place to go to, so I highly recommend that. Laurel Park is also fun to go to. It's a 1 1/8 mile American thoroughbred racetrack, so that's always fun to check out every once in a while, and just something specific to Laurel that you can expect to hear about, and is right local here in the area. And if you like to have a drink every once in a while, like myself, have some house parties, drink with friends, Total Wine and More is something that Laurel has and is awesome. It just has so much more than your typical liquor store here in Central Maryland. So this is located right on 198 and 295. So if you're looking for more options and just to get some good deals on wine, beer, liquor, Total Wine and More is something you definitely want to check out. And then just about 10 minutes away, very close, you have Arundel Mills Mall, which is going to have every kind of store, shopping center that you're going to be, looking for here in the area. So that's going to provide a lot of options for you as far as shopping. And then Arundel Mills also has Maryland Life Casino in it. So if you're looking for shows, if you're looking for a night out at a casino or anything like that, that's very close by and something you want to check out as well. And then Laurel is literally smack dab in the middle of Washington, D.C. and Baltimore, so equally 21 miles from each. So if you're looking for a night out, a day out to either Baltimore or D.C., that's gonna have a ton of options to go do something fun in either of those two areas, and it's not a far drive at all. You're looking at roughly 30 minutes to D.C. depending on traffic, and then probably 25 minutes up north to Baltimore. Okay, and con number 3 of Laurel, Maryland is going to be the taxes. So this is definitely something you want to be aware of. So I want to quickly discuss property taxes as well as income taxes, because this is both you want to be aware of if you're going to be living or residing in the Laurel, Maryland area. So when it comes to property taxes, it's going to differ a little bit, but Prince George's County, which is the biggest portion of Laurel, as I mentioned, it's in 4 different counties: Prince George's County, Montgomery County, Howard County, and Anne Arundel County. In Prince George's County, the property tax rate is 1.33%. So it's definitely higher, on average a quarter to 0.3% higher than your other surrounding counties. Montgomery County is 0.93%. So there's a pretty good difference there in your property taxes. And then Howard County is 1.01% effective property tax rate. And Anne Arundel County, like Montgomery County, is also 0.93%. So depending on which portion of Laurel you're going to be living in, which county rather, that's something that you just want to pay attention to and just know that there's going to be some differences there in the property tax rate. Okay, the second part of taxes that you want to be aware of is the income taxes. So in Maryland, you're going to be paying state income tax directly to Maryland, which is probably for most of you is going to be 5.75%. And then depending on the county that you live in, you're going to be paying a local income tax depending on which county you live in. And if you're going to be considering Laurel, you're going to be in one of 4 counties. So this is something you want to look into. So for Montgomery, Howard, and Prince George's County, all 3 of them are 3.2% local income tax. That's going to be paid in addition to your 5.75% state income tax. So this is something that it is what it is in Maryland. Every single county pays something. It just depends on how much. It ranges from 2.25% to 3.2%, which is the highest in the state, along with Baltimore City and a couple other counties. And then if you're living in Anne Arundel County, part of Laurel, it's only 2.8%. So it's going to be lower than the other 3 counties within Laurel. So that's something, depending on which part you're going to be living in, something you just want to look into and just be aware of, that's something you're going to be encountering. All right, everyone, those are my pros and cons of living in Laurel, Maryland. If you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out directly. If you have any thoughts or questions on Laurel, Maryland, feel free to comment below, and I'll definitely get answers and love to hear any questions that you have about the area here. Talk to you soon, and we'll see you at the next video.